So you've probably heard it 100 times. If you are in my circle, I've probably said it to you 100 times. You need a lead magnet to grow your list. But if we're being real, most of them are just going to sit there collecting the proverbial digital dust. There's no downloads, there's no engagement, there's no sales, there's no movement on the email list growth needle. So, what gives? Are lead magnets officially outdated, or are we just doing them wrong? We're going to talk some real strategy, and there's going to be a whole lot of tough love when it comes to your list building game. So, if you've ever wondered if lead magnets even work anymore, stick around. The answer might surprise you. Truth time. When's the last time you raised your hands for a swift kick in the pants? Well, I'm the no-nonsense type friend who's going to tell you when you have food in your teeth. So let's get right to it. This is your infusion of sacred and secular, calling you higher into who God created you to be, exploring how intimately faith applies to every part of your life, and how you can live that faith every single day in the marketplace. I felt the tension of separation of church and state. I've been one of the few women at a table of men for decades, and I've stood my ground. Are you ready to do the same? These tools, resources, and interviews are meant to do just that. I'm Jan Touchberry, and it's time to share her faith at work. Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited that you're back today for what I think is going to be a really practical episode that you can actually take some notes. If you're driving, please don't write, but come back to it and take some notes and then implement. Everybody needs a podcast that you can implement, right? So today we're going to talk about lead magnets. You've probably created one before, or maybe even a few, or maybe you've even paid someone to create a lead magnet for you. And you're wondering why no one's downloading them or why they're not turning your leads into paying clients. If any of that resonates with you, this is an episode for you. So I was having a conversation the other day with a friend, and she said something that actually really shocked me a little bit. She said, yeah, I was listening to somebody the other day, or she was talking to someone, and they told her that lead magnets don't work anymore. Lead magnets are dead in 2025. And I'm like, I don't think so, because they're still working for me. And I know that there are a lot of people who are 6, 7, 8-figure earners in the marketing space, digital marketing, and they use lead magnets. So clearly, lead magnets are not dead in 2025. I still think it's a strategy that we can use. But if yours are not doing what you need them to do, there's a problem. So today we're going to bust some myths. We're going to get honest about what's broken, and I'm going to lay out some practical steps to fix it. Is that okay? Let's fix it. So first of all, I want to bust a couple of myths. Number one, people don't want free stuff anymore. I don't know about you, but I love me some free stuff. I love free stuff. The problem is that you have to have free stuff that gives value, that's relevant, and that brings an immediate solution to somebody. Because if it doesn't add value, it's not relevant, not just to them, but to what you have for them, it's not going to work. And it will just sit with 0 downloads. Okay, so that's myth number one. Myth number two, social media is enough to grow my business. I don't need to build an email list. Yeah, no, that is false, all caps, right? You do not own your social media. It can be shut down or break down or go down at any time. The algorithm is not your business partner. Email is where your trust is built. Okay. So you still absolutely positively need to be building an email list in your business. I don't care what you do. You need an email list, and it needs to be robust, and it needs to be always growing, which means you need to have a way to get people onto it. Enter lead magnets, right? Social media is where you meet the people, but your list is where they stay and get to know you and create relationship with you. God calls us to steward and not just show up. So if you're building visibility, but you're not building connection, that's not stewardship, that's performance. I'm just going to leave that for you right there. So we want to talk about why most lead magnets fail. So I'm going to break down some of the top reasons why the freebies that you have might not be hitting. And maybe you have freebies that are doing awesome. Great. I want you to message me and tell me what they are and why you think they're working because I want to learn from you. I don't even know how many lead magnets I have, you guys. So many, so many. And there are some that do really, really well, and then some that have been sitting for a really long time with 0 downloads. Why is that? Even people who do this on a regular basis can have freebies that flop. I was just actually listening to a podcast today by Jenna Kutcher, and she is incredibly successful. And she said she still has freebies and offers that flop. And so there's a few reasons that might be factoring into that. Number one, maybe it's too vague. People don't understand the title of it, and so they don't see why it would be relevant to them. Just an example, 5 tips for productivity. Not compelling. Productivity in what? Productivity for what? Productivity for who? 5 tips for productivity for busy moms. Oh, I'm a busy mom. I want to be more productive. Do you see what I just did there? I just added just a few little words and it completely changed the reason that I might be interested in it. Okay. So lack of clarity equals lack of clicks. You want to get super, super clear. Second thing, maybe it's disconnected from your offer. If your lead magnet doesn't naturally lead into a service or a product that you have, it's just noise. I I will tell you that some of the lead magnets that I have right now that are doing really well lead into services that I don't even offer anymore, you guys, because I was doing that at the very beginning of my business. And those lead magnets worked great for that. But I have evolved, my business has evolved, and those lead magnets are still cranking. I literally just got somebody who signed up for one. I must have created it 5 years ago. And I'm like, where is that dang lead magnet? I don't even know where it's at, and people are still finding it. Well, I do know where it's at. It's on Pinterest. Anytime you have something that pops up after that long, it's got to be on a platform that has longevity. That's not social media. So that's probably Pinterest or YouTube. Um, that's another podcast episode. I'll take a note. Anyway, you have to make sure that it is naturally leading into a product or service that you actually are doing now. Because if you don't, that's not a funnel, right? Lead magnets are supposed to be the top of the funnel. And if you don't have anything underneath it, they're just sitting in this pool of stagnant water. Not good. You getting that picture? I always think about mosquitoes when I think of stagnant water. Nothing good comes from stagnant water. Okay. So it should really feel like the first step on a very clear path, not just a random one off. Yeah. Okay. Next, you maybe have the wrong audience. So it's attracting freebie seekers and not aligned buyers. I will just tell you that I don't even know how many are in it, you guys. I'm actually kind of afraid to look, but I have a folder on my desktop on my computer that is entitled freebies, and I'm pretty sure that I have 50 freebies in that folder that I literally have never looked at. Okay, so why is that? Because clearly there was something about that freebie that made me want to download it, but it wasn't compelling enough, or I was not the ideal client that the person who created that freebie was looking for. So it was not aligned enough with me in order for me to take that next step. Or maybe it was just a bad freebie and the funnel was broken, right? So you need to make sure that you're talking to your ideal client. You need to use a clear transformation or pain point to filter the right people in and the wrong people out. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is poor user experience. Okay, so I have some really good friends you know who you are. And I tend to work fast and I don't always check my work. And so I'll put something out into the world, and then these beautiful friends of mine, uh, they'll call me and go, Jan, you have a typo on the first page. Or, Jan, I clicked on the link and nothing happened. Or, Jan, I got your email, but it said, dear first name. And I'm like, crap. So it's a poor user experience. It has clunky delivery. It's a confusing format. There's broken automation, and all of that equals lost trust. I am not saying that I do it all right. I do not. It is a work in progress. I'm telling you, though, that that is an issue that can pretty easily, if I slow down and check my work, back in third grade, check your work. If I slow down and check my work, I can prevent a lot of that. You'll never prevent all of it. Sometimes things just break. But if I slow down and check all of that, it can lead to a good user experience where people are bonded to me and they want more, right? And that's really the goal. So, one thing that I try to do every time I create a new lead magnet and put it out into the world is I do a little mini self audit. So I have several emails, and when I use Flowdesk, um, if you don't have an email provider, I highly recommend Flowdesk because it is so easy and user friendly. I'll leave a link for you down in the show notes for today. If you need an email provider, look into that. Using that link will actually get you half off. And so it's a good deal. But when I put my lead magnet into Flowdesk and I build the funnel, right, I actually will go in and I will go through the process myself using one of my email addresses just to make sure that everything works before I put it out into the world. So I think the question that you ask yourself after you go through that whole experience is, would you actually download your own lead magnet today? Would it blow your mind or would it just blend in with the noise? Lead magnets are a lot of trial and error, you guys. I have one that I just created. I'm actually really proud of it. It's called the Brand Audit Scorecard, and it is for people who are wondering if it's time to refresh or update your branding. The problem that I'm having with this lead magnet is not that the lead magnet itself is bad. It's a great lead magnet. The problem is at this point, the funnel. And so I am looking at how I'm putting it out into the world and where I'm putting it out into the world. And I'm going to tweak that before I actually tweak the lead magnet itself to see if I can get it converting because I'm not getting it in front of the right people, right? Does that make sense? So you need to make sure that it just doesn't blend into the noise. It needs to stand out, it needs to pop, it needs to catch people's eye, and you need to make sure that all of that is happening in the right locations. Okay? So I want to segue for a minute into what is actually working right now in 2025. All right. So we've talked a little bit about some of these, but I'm going to dive just a little bit deeper. So you want to add micro specific value. Just solve one problem and solve it really quickly. For example, you could give someone 3 direct message templates to book your first sales call. Super specific, solves the problem right away, easy to create. Boom, lead magnet. Here's another example, a quiz. What is your messaging style? Or what is your brand style? Or I'm trying to think, like I have a client right now, I'm doing a website for her. She owns a med spa and she could do a quiz really easily. What is your skin type? Or what would be the best med spa service for you? And so, do you see what I'm saying? It solves a problem super fast, super compelling to the right audience. All right, number 2, you want to make sure that it aligns with your paid offer. We talked a little bit about that, but what's next? The freebie is the first step. What are you actually sending them to next? Right? And that's one thing that I'm a real stickler on is there are people who create freebies that don't send anybody to a next and or they don't have their workflow in their email list. So it's a dead lead. It just sits there. And so there are specific ways that you can set up a freebie where at the back of it, you actually point them to where you want them to go. It's always good to be specific for the what's next, the next step for people when they enter your ecosystem through a lead magnet. Okay. So if your lead magnet does not lead somewhere on purpose, it's a dead end and it is not a funnel. All right. High perceived value. So, what are some things that could be high perceived value? Templates, quizzes, checklists, still great. And then short email sequences are really great. Like a 3 email sequence that you could give to somebody. That's a really high value. Um, Toolkits, any kind of toolkit that works within your brand and what you're trying to drive people to, also great. You really want instant gratification and tangible help, and that is going to lead to a download worthy lead magnet. That's hard to say. Um, and then you want to make sure that it is an excellent presentation. Y'all don't do it halfway. Canva, oh my gosh, Canva has so many amazing lead magnet templates. There's really no excuse to have a crappy looking lead magnet anymore. I'm sorry, there's just not. And I've seen some really bad ones. You want a clean design. You want it to be branded, okay? Branded. And you want an automated delivery. You don't want people to have to wait, and you don't want to have to send it to people. So you want a way to automate it. You can automate delivery of your lead magnet through Flowdesk, which is the what I use again. Um, and it makes it super simple. Okay. I did set up a lead magnet from somebody or I tried to help them set up a lead magnet that they were delivering straight through Canva. It's not a good user experience. Don't do that. Don't do it. You don't have to be fancy, but you do have to be intentional. Okay. Now let's get practical. How do you audit or create a high converting lead magnet? So you got to ask yourself some questions. Number one, who is it for and what are they really struggling with? Okay. What quick win will it give them? Question 3 is, does it naturally lead to my paid offer? Question 4, is it visually clean, easy to consume, and is it automated? Hallelujah. You know, I'm a big automation fan. And then last but not least, does it have a clear call to action? What's their next step? Is it a consultation? Does it lead to a sales page? Is there a wait list for whatever you're promoting next? What is their next step? And if this lead magnet doesn't have a clear next step, nope, stagnant water. Don't do it. So, pro tip. Again, test your user journey from start to finish. Is the opt-in page clear? Is it compelling? Does it have an email that goes out immediately? Is your system working there? Is the call to action present? Is it strong? Your lead magnet should not feel like you're doing someone a favor. It should feel like an invitation into relationship. Here's what I want you to do from here, okay? As I've been preaching to you, you need to have a clear call to action. So, what I want to do is help you if you're ready to create a lead magnet that actually works. I have created a new lead magnet apropos for this episode. I've created a new lead magnet that it's magic. It's magical, really. And it is going to help you with ChatGPT prompts to create an irresistible freebie that actually converts. So, what's inside? This is why you're going to want to get your hands on it. There's the prompts, there's the framework. It's got a little bit of inspiration to generate lead magnet ideas, titles, outlines, and copy with the help of ChatGPT. No more guessing. No more bland freebies. Just a strategy that is going to help you start growing your email list. Hallelujah. So, if you want to get your hands on that lead magnet, you can click the link in the show notes, or if you don't have time to click the link in the show notes or you're driving, this is easy to remember. You're going to go to jantouchberry.com/lead magnet, jantouchberry.com/lead magnet, and it'll be right there for you to get your hands on. I hope that you've found some value here. I hope that this has inspired you to get out there and to create some new lead magnets, maybe, or if you have some that are maybe not working so well, either revamp them or maybe it's time to take them out of circulation, and that's okay. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Her Faith at Work. If the Lord put someone on your heart that you think needs to hear this message today, will you just smash that share button? And if you haven't already followed the show, I would love for you to do that. Super extra points if you hop over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. That helps the algorithm pick us up and drop us right in the AirPods of people that need to hear what the Lord is saying to them today. I hope you'll come back for the next episode of Her Faith at Work. The podcast comes out every Wednesday. And if you look down in the show notes, I've even got a couple of free downloads for you that I think you will really enjoy. With that, have a great week. See you next time.